All right, 3 keys to selling Cutco. I want to teach you 3 keys to selling Cutco. Number 1 key to selling the product. So actually physically selling Cutco. Number 1 is follow the what? Manual. Follow the manual. Have you guys ever heard that making eye contact is a really good thing in sales? Like, you've got to make eye contact. Okay, I'm going to dispel some myths about sales. I'm going to teach you a lot about sales. I'm going to teach you that most of what you know about sales is probably wrong. Most of what they teach about sales is generally wrong. I'm going to teach you what sales actually is. When you have the number 1 product, do you need a fancy salesperson? No. So following the manual, we don't need to be fancy salespeople. I don't need to be making eye contact with my customer to sell the product. In fact, when you first start, it's a bad thing. The reason why it's not good to make eye contact, number 1, is because it distracts your customer. When you have a crappy product, what do you want your customer looking at? You. When you have a crappy product, you want them looking at you. When you have a great product, what do you want them looking at? So if you're making a lot of eye contact, if I say, hey, Mrs. Jones, let me tell you about Cutco knives. And I'm like, really smooth and fancy, she's going to be looking at me and she's not going to be looking at Cutco. But if I'm reading from the manual and I say, to complete your set, your table knives are used for every meal, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They have a rounded tip and a wide blade. So then she's going to be like, no stress, no pressure, and she's going to be focusing on the product. So you want your customer focusing on the product more than you. So don't be fancy. Don't feel like you have to make eye contact. The more eye contact you make, it distracts them from Cutco. I want to teach you that this is going to be your first lesson in marketing and sales. Here's the here's the price of the product. Now, when we sell a product, it's all about value. Value is the only thing that matters when you're selling a product. Here's the price. The price is right here. It's not going to change. Now, the value for Cutco is above, right? Okay. Have you ever bought a product that it was a low price? You only realized like later after you bought it why it was so cheap? Okay, because the value is below. So with Cutco, the value is way above. If you follow the manual word for word perfectly, exactly 100%, you're building 100% of the potential value for the product. If you only follow the manual 75%, you mostly do it and you feel pretty good, but you're kind of veering off a little bit, then the only value you can build, the maximum potential value, is 75%. If you're doing the manual 50-50, you're sort of reading it but making a lot of eye contact, you're only building 50% of the potential value, and then it's a maybe sale. It's only a possible sale. Even if you do everything else perfectly, even if Mitch sounds so good, he's so personable, he's having fun, he's cutting food, if he only follows it 50-50, it's a maybe sale. If you just wing it, it's a no sale. It's impossible because there's not enough value. All the value building phrases are in there. So I would rather be very robotic and super nerdy and dorky and just read straight from my manual and never make eye contact because it builds 100% of the value. What are your customers buying, you or Cutco? Cutco. What sells the product, you or Cutco? Let it do the work. So follow the manual word for word. In fact, in the first page of the manual, it says to the customer, Mrs. Jones, since I just started, I'm going to read from my manual. Is that okay? So you ask permission to not make eye contact, and she's going to say, of course. And you say, okay, great. And you just bury your head in the manual the rest of the time. So we make it easy on you. You guys like that? Yeah. All right, so that's number 1. Number 2 is cut food. It's all about value. Would you ever buy a car without test driving it? No way. It doesn't make any sense. So with Cutco, we have the best kitchen knives in the world. Do you think their customers are going to want to cut food? Absolutely. So your customer's going to want to cut. So here's the price. 5 things. You want to cut 5 things on every demo. If you cut 5 things, value is at its highest. 4 things, 3 things, 2 things, it's a maybe sale. 1 thing or nothing, it's hard to make a sale. Okay? 5 things on every demo. Now, can you bring stuff to your presentations? Sure, most of our reps, they get, those igloo coolers that you can get they just put a cooler in the back of their car and they load it up with all the cheap stuff, carrots, potatoes, tomatoes, stuff like that. Our best reps, I want you to write down the word pineapple. It'll make sense later. You'll start laughing once everybody starts telling you about it. But our best reps bring pineapples to most of their appointments. It's just not even fair. If you cut a pineapple in the demo, it's just lights out. So I'll tell you about more of food later, but you can bring some things, but then just ask your customer for food. I used to play the poor starving college student card, and I'd be like, Mrs. Jones, oh, I am starving. I've been doing appointments all day. Is there anything we can cut up? And they'd be like, oh, you poor thing. They'd make me a sandwich, and it was awesome. So make sure you cut a lot of food. Next thing, third thing is have fun. Buying Cutco is an emotional experience. It's an emotional experience. Ladies, have you ever been to the mall when you're in a bad mood? Anybody, when you're in a horrible mood? You never find anything. Like, nothing fits. It's just, it's a terrible experience. Have you ever been to the mall when you're in a great mood? Dangerous. Dangerous, right? Everything fits. Everything looks good. You buy everything. So it's an emotional experience. So the key is you want to have fun. The more fun that you have, the more fun your customer will have. So it's very, very important to make sure you're having a blast in your demo. Make jokes. Don't be that really uptight salesperson. Jackson's not going to be like, Mrs. Jones, congratulations on your order. It's a very wise decision. No, he's going to say, Mrs. Jones, that's friggin' awesome. Okay, high fives. You can fist pump, chest bump. Don't chest bump grandma, though. But have fun on your presentations. The more fun you have, the more fun your customers are going to have, the more they're going to buy. So essentially, read, cut, and smile. Everybody asks us, they say, why do the reps in our office sell so much more than everybody else? It's 3 times more on average in the first weekend, 3 times more on average in the fast start, and then 5 times more on average in career sales. But why do we sell so much more? We read, we cut, we smile. That's it. If you can read, cut, and smile, you're going to sell Cutco. And you know what? It's all about the attitude. If you can read, cut, and smile, and you have a great attitude and you work hard, job is a piece of cake. There's nothing to it. We sell knives. This is not rocket science. It's a knife. It cuts stuff. All right? It's the best in the world. It's simple. You just got to work hard and have a great attitude. That's it. You guys feel good? Yeah. All right.